Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leigh Fuge, and in this video today we're going to be talking about this pedal from the guys at Beetronics. This is the Octahive. Beetronics are a Californian-based boutique pedal builder, and they build a real great range of pedals. They're all leaning more on that retro sort of aesthetic, both visually and tonally. The Octahive is one of those pedals. Beetronics as a brand are very new to me. I only actually discovered them for the first time at 42 Gear Street in August 2020. At the event, I got talking to the distributor, and he encouraged me to basically try out all of the range. So we did. I made a video all about the entire Beetronics range at the event with my good friend Mike from the channel CGS. There's a link to that in the top corner of this video right now. In that video, we talk about everything Beetronics do. We run through a bunch of different tones for all of their pedals. But they've very kindly now sent me this, which is the one that I really fell for. I loved this pedal when I first heard it. It's an Octave Up fuzz, and anyone who knows me will know I've got a bit of a soft spot for fuzzes with that upper octave thing. So the Octahive is based off the classic Tycho Brahe or Tycho Brahe, whichever way you guys want to say that. Tycho Brahe Octavia. That's that classic late 60s, early 70s upper octave fuzz. So if you think of all your favorite classic 60s and 70s fuzz players that used that upper octave thing, the Octahive does all that and more. It's got the best of those kind of vintage tones and some modern tones thanks to some cool tweaks the Beetronics guys have made. So there's a ton of gain in this thing, which obviously you'd expect because it's a fuzz. You expect a lot of gain there, and then you've also got a switchable upper octave. So you can use this as a standalone fuzz or an octave fuzz, which is really cool. The octave fuzz is a very Marmite effect for a lot of players. Some players will love it and some players will really hate it. And it's quite a hard effect to control. If you've never used an upper octave fuzz before, your first experience may be quite a bit of an eye-opener. Now, I'm the same. It took me a couple of goes to really figure out how I wanted to use that tone and dial it into my own kind of playing. But once you get a grip on sort of taming that upper octave tone, it's a fantastic effect and it gives you hours and hours of fun. So the layout of the pedal is super simple. We've got three knobs. We've got pre, which is your input gain level. So you can actually push the input gain into the pedal harder, which is really cool for getting a bit more sort of compression out of the fuzz and hitting the gain stage of the pedal harder. The honey, which is the amount of gain, obviously honey sitting with the B theme there. The real magic in this is the interplay between these two knobs. So between the pre and the honey, you can kind of dial in that ring modulator sort of upper octave thing. You can go for the full-on Hendrix sort of thing. You can have a spluttery compressed fuzz, and you can do all that just by basically controlling how these two sections work together. Then you've just got the volume, which is obviously the output of the pedal, and a 2-position toggle switcher on the side, which turns the upper octave on or off. So even if you don't like that upper octave sound, this is still a great standalone fuzz pedal. So you could use this without the octave and still get some great tones. The really cool thing is the way they've designed the LED for the pedal as well. This actually changes color depending on which position the toggle switch is in. So you know when the pedal is on, because the thing Beetronics do is the LED light is always a different color to the pedal. So this is a blue pedal. When the pedal is on and the upper octave is engaged, this light is red. If I flip the switch and turn the upper octave off, this light becomes blue. That's a pretty cool feature, so you always know where you are with the pedal as well. So let's plug it in now and get some cool fuzz tones. For this video, I'm going to be playing my Stanford Crossroad Thin Line 30. This is like a ES330 style guitar, completely hollow, 2 P90s. This is a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool tones in this guitar. I'm plugged into the Blackstar Studio 10 6L6 that you see behind me there, which is running completely clean, except for a little bit of reverb. And the amp is mic'd with a Lewitt Audio LCT 440. Over on the pedal board here, I've also got the Tate FX Antares, just because you typically use these with other game pedals as well, so I'm going to use this as an overdrive later on in the video. So let's kick on the Octahive first of all. So I've got the octave up on at the moment, so this LED here will illuminate red. So everything straight up at 12 o'clock. It's also worth noting, upper octave fuzzes react very differently depending on which pickup you use. So a great way to get that real kind of Hendrixy thing going on is to use the neck pickup, especially of a Strat, which I will use in a little bit, and dial the volume back a bit. So for now, we'll just go in full pelt with the volumes on 10. So straight away, that is such a cool tone. I love that aggression that these kind of fuzzes have. That was with the bridge P90, so with the neck as well. These kind of fuzzes really don't like it when you play two notes at the same time. You get a bit of a clash. That's where it kind of goes into that ring modulator thing. But that is one of the things about using these pedals that's really fun, because there's an element of knowing how to tame it that's really important. So let's go back to talking about the way these two gain stages interact. So the pre is the input volume and the honey is just the overall gain. And I'm going to get different textures between these two dials. So I'm going to push the pre and I'm going to dial the honey back. So you can hear that I was manipulating the volume controls a little bit as well as changing pickups, and you can really hear the octave moving a bit. With the pre up full and the honey back a little bit, we get more of that upper octave sort of presence and cut, but not as much gain. If we reverse that principle, so I'm going to take the pre right down and the honey all the way up, we'll get more fuzz and a little bit less of the octave, but it'll be a little bit more sort of compressed because I'm really pushing the fuzz circuit here. So again, with the volume low, you do get into that ring modulator kind of thing. Let's just set these now both about 3/4 of the way up and see what that sounds like. that's when it starts to get a little hairier and a little wilder. So like I said earlier on, there is also a way to disable the upper octave. So if I just flip the toggle switch, you see the LED now goes blue. So now I'm just in a fuzz circuit. So let's just set everything back to midnight. We'll hear this without the upper octave now. So without the upper octave on, it's a different beast altogether. So now let's push the pre, and let's see what happens if we put a bit more input gain into the fuzz. So we're starting to get into a spluttery fuzz, but it's not too overpowering. Now let's bring the pre down and add more gain. So that is a lot of fun. So I'm just going to kick on a bit of overdrive now. So let's put the Tate Antares on. Got this set very low gain just like this. The reason for this is I want to talk about how the Octahive reacts going into a distorted pedal. So I'm going to put the upper octave back on, and we'll just go for everything straight back up at midnight again. Typically in a signal chain, you'd have your sort of octaves and your fuzzes towards the front of the chain. So usually these are going to hit other gain pedals. There's probably not many instances where you're going to run an octave up fuzz straight into a clean amp. You're probably going to be stacking it with some kind of other gain, especially like an overdriven amp or a sort of low gain overdrive pedal like this, or even a high gain overdrive pedal. So here's how this is going to sound. So when you actually put the octave up fuzz into some existing gain, so in this case an overdrive pedal, but this would be the same if you're using an overdriven amp, you get a lot more prominence out of that upper octave, especially when you roll back the volume, because the overdrive pedal is sort of boosting that rollback signal. So that's really cool. That's where you start to get into that sort of classic Octavia tone. So I'm going to switch up to a Strat now, because obviously everyone loves the sound of an Octavia with a Strat. So now I've got my early 1980s Tokai Strat. Now we're going to go straight into that sort of Hendrixy ballpark with the tone. So without the Octavia, we've just got a low gain drive signal. So now with the upper octave, so I've just got everything set the same here, everything's straight up at midnight. I mean, what can you say about a Strat with an octave pedal? It's a timeless sound that all guitar players, or at least I think all guitar players, secretly love. It's a sound that is really hard to tame, and as you can imagine, it's pretty chaotic. I'm at a very controlled volume right now, so obviously I'm in my studio, I'm not blazingly loud, but if I was on stage, this thing would definitely be pushing that amp a little bit harder. Now the cool thing is, I've actually got the guitar volume rolled back right now, but the pedal's not really making that much noise. Now I have other octave ups and other fuzzes, which even when you're not playing with the guitar rolled back, the pedal itself still generates a lot of noise. This is insanely quiet. There's obviously a little bit of hiss coming from the amp, but it's not much. It's not the sort of hiss that you're gonna think, oh, you know, I need to turn that pedal off between songs because it's kind of drowning the vocalist out as they're talking to the crowd. It's super quiet, so even if you played with this thing on all the time, you'd be okay. So let's see how the regular fuzz, okay, the regular fuzz circuit's got a bit more noise. You can hear that noise kicking in as I switch the octave off. Not much though. Let's see how the regular fuzz reacts with single coils. I mean, that has everything you want in a fuzz pedal, doesn't it? It's got spluttery tones, it's got compressed tones, it's got a ton of gain, and it's got an upper octave. That's a winner for me. I love this pedal. Thank you to Beetronics and Face Distribution for hooking me up with this thing. This is going to be seeing a lot of use because I love upper octave pedals. I love that fuzz with the upper octave thing going on. And this one for me is just magic. I mean, I've tried loads of them over the years and I thought I'd found the one, but now I think I've really found the one. I think that the Beetronics Octahive has kind of taken what I love about that kind of pedal and taken it to that next level. So there it is, there's the Octahive. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of that, where you stand on fuzz and octave up fuzz and that tone in general. It's not everyone's favorite tone. Some people really like it and some people really don't. But where do you stand on that tone yourself? I'd love to hear what you guys think. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because as usual, you guys are really helping this channel to grow and you're helping me to keep making cool videos with companies like Beetronics. And hopefully you guys are enjoying these videos, enjoying the tones, and hopefully it's inspiring you guys on some of your own tone journeys as well. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And as always, let me know. If you did enjoy, throw it in the comments below. And if you didn't enjoy, throw it in the comments below, because it's all guitar gear and it's something we all love talking about. So whether or not you like it or not, let's have a chat about it. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.